Poll for today. Do you agree that the Democratic debates were a disaster for the party?
Twitter changes rules to silence President Trump. Twitter has given in to the pressure from progressives and will now change its rules in order to combat tweets from President Donald Trump. The site claims that its change has nothing to do with the president himself, but anyone with brain cells can see that is exactly what it is. Our highest priority is to protect the health of the public conversation on Twitter, as an important part is of ensuring our rules and how we enforce them are easy to understand. In the past, we've allowed certain tweets that violated our rules to remain on Twitter because they were in the public interest, but it wasn't clear when and how we made those determinations. To fix that, we're introducing a new notice that will provide additional clarity in these situations and sharing more on when and why we'll use it, it said in a statement. Serving the public conversation includes providing the ability for anyone to talk about what matters to them. This can be especially important when engaging with government officials and political figures. By nature of their positions, these leaders have outsized influence and sometimes say things that could be considered controversial or invite debate and discussion. A critical function of our service is providing a place where people can openly and publicly respond to their leaders and hold them accountable. With this in mind, there are certain cases where it may be in the public's interest to have access to certain tweets, even if they would otherwise be in violation of our rules. On the rare occasions when this happens, we'll place a notice, a screen you have to click or tap through before you see the tweet to provide additional context and clarity. We'll also take steps to make sure the tweet is not algorithmically elevated on our service to strike the right balance between enabling free expression, fostering accountability, and reducing the potential harm caused by these tweets. We will only consider applying this notice on tweets from accounts that meet the following criteria. The account must be or represent a government official, be running for public office, or be considered for a government position, that is next line, awaiting confirmation, named successor to an appointed position, have more than 100,000 followers, and be verified. That said, there are cases such as direct threats of violence or calls to commit violence against an individual that are unlikely to be considered in the public interest. In instances where a tweet violates our rules and our review doesn't find that it would be in the public interest to leave it up, we will require the account owner to remove the tweet. Either way, this notice will make our decision-making clearer, it said. This notice won't be applied to any tweets sent before today, and given the conditions outlined above, it's unlikely you'll encounter it often. We cannot predict the first time it will be used, but we wanted to give you more information about this new notice before you come across it on Twitter. Over time, public interest in how it's defined on Twitter may change as we observe different types of behavior. We'll continue to evaluate how our rules and enforcement actions can be clearer and keep working to make our decision-making easier to understand, it said. They might as well have said President Trump's name in the announcement because that is precisely who they are going to use this on. Please take a moment and consider sharing this video with your friends and family. Thank you.